Former ANC Secretary General and now its National Chair Gwede Mantashe says they've managed to live up to the ideals of this historic document. He insists that only 2 of its 10 clauses remain a work in progress.
The clauses of the Freedom Charter, there are 10. 8 of those clauses in the preamble have been implemented almost fully. We have 2 clauses that are work in progress. One of them is the land question. The second one is the wealth.
The ANC says they have implemented 8 out of 10 clauses of the Freedom Charter. Are they out of their minds? Greetings, my fellow South Africans. I'm Kondus from Inkari is Time, the channel where we speak truth to power. The Freedom Charter was a sacred document, a vision for a free, just, and equal South Africa. It said, the people shall govern, there shall be houses, land, work, and wealth for all. Now, the ANC wants to tell us that 8 out of the 10 clauses have been fully implemented. Let's look around and ask ourselves, is this what the Freedom Charter looks like in reality?
If you take land and wealth, we are implementing that within the framework of economic transformation. That is why we have repealed the Act of 1975 and introduced the Act of Land Expropriation. That on its own is the implementation of the Freedom Charter, bit by bit. As we come back to power in full swing, that program will be accelerated without negotiating with anyone. And the setback we have suffered affect the implementation and faster implementation of the Freedom Charter.
Expose the realities, clause by clause. 1. The people shall share in the country's wealth. Then why are the rich richer and the poor poorer? South Africa is one of the most unequal societies on earth. The wealth is still in the hands of the few, while the rest scramble for crumbs. 2. The land shall be shared among those who work it. Where is the land for the people of Diepsloot, Olvenhoutbush, Nomzamo, Soshanguve? Floods in KZN and Eastern Cape force landless families to live in deadly zones. That's not land justice, it's land neglect. 3. There shall be houses, security, and comfort. Millions still live in shacks with no clean water, no toilets, no electricity. Where is the security and comfort in Cape Flats, Guguletu, Alexandra? 4. There shall be work and security. Youth unemployment is over 60%. That's not economic freedom. That's economic betrayal. 5. All shall enjoy equal human rights. How can there be equal rights when the justice system protects the rich and punishes the poor? Crime is eating our communities alive. Where is the dignity in that?
However, after 30 years of freedom, and with South Africa still the most unequal society in the world, Mbalula concedes that it has been difficult to see the realization of all the clauses of the Freedom Charter.
Of course, we are executing the full realization of the Freedom Charter within a democratic process, which at the present moment does not favor the ANC. We have ensured that over 30 years, a better life for all is actually finding expression in our programs. Because a better life for all is the full realization of the Freedom Charter. Even in other areas that you can mention, is not yet full cycle of what the Freedom Charter says.
There is a broad consensus that most of the objectives of the Charter have been realized, at least according to political analyst Moele Tsimbeki.
A lot of what the Freedom Charter wanted to be achieved has been achieved. For example, the people shall govern. That is at the heart of the Freedom Charter, actually.
Moele Tsimbeki, brother to former President Thabo Mbeki, claims that much of what the Freedom Charter envisioned has already been achieved. He even cites the people shall govern the heart of the Charter as a success. But is that true? Are the people governing, really? Or have they been reduced to spectators while a political elite governs in their name? If the people shall govern had truly been realized, South Africa wouldn't be ruled by unaccountable elites while millions remain landless, unemployed, and voiceless. That's not governance by the people. That's governance despite the people. We will be guided by what the people say. This must be a genuine mass movement, drawing in all sectors of society, not just party loyalists or elites. Floyd Shivambu is calling for a new political force rooted in the everyday struggles of South Africans, a movement that returns to the spirit of the Freedom Charter, where the people truly govern, not just in words, but in practice. It's about going back to the drawing board, dusting off the charter, and building a people-powered alternative from the ground up.
Now look, we will be guided by what the people are going to say much more clearly. I've learned a lesson before, where I got to conceptualize and write the founding documents of a political party and literally got to download my political perspectives into the founding documents of the Economic Freedom Fighters. So the Economic Freedom Fighters says it's a Marxist-Leninist organization, it's Pan-Africanist, it ascribes to heterodox economics, and those are my personal views in terms of how it got to happen. And admittedly, it did not get to become a mass movement to attract millions of South Africans to give it government responsibility. I got to appreciate much more practically that we need to broaden a movement and mobilize the entire sector of society, the entire different constituencies, and be much more open for contribution, that we did not develop some closed-off cultures and sect-like kind of politics. We need to open up, but there are certain non-negotiable principles that we are going to uphold if we were to open a political organization, and those principles include the commitment to redress of the imbalances of the past. So there is no one who's going to say to us that, no, let us forget what happened under colonialism and apartheid, and then we then accept that. And then the other principle that we're going to firmly defend is the principle of transparency and accountability, that we must have an organization that is much more transparent and accountable to society, but also we are not going to ascribe to an organization that is defined by narrow presidentialism, where those who are leading that organizations are the be-all and end-all of whatever happens in that particular organization. Because I've observed in other organizations that such is a perennial and very limiting feature which will not make any movement to grow to appeal to all South Africans.
Call out the ANC's arrogance. The ANC has the audacity to claim success while millions of South Africans are suffering. What success? What freedom? They say they have implemented the Freedom Charter, but we are still landless, jobless, and voiceless. If they really believed what they are saying, then they are either lying or out of touch with reality. Reclaim the Charter ourselves. The Freedom Charter is not dead, it's just been hijacked. It's time we, the people, reclaim it through Stokvels, cooperatives, street committees, and local self-governance. We can build our own systems, just like we did before 1994, because waiting on politicians has failed us. If you believe the Freedom Charter still matters, but belongs to the people, not politicians, like this video, share with your community, comment below, the people shall govern. Subscribe to Inkari It's Time, where we speak truth and build power from the ground up. Thanks for watching and take care.